All right, good morning, folks. Happy Thanksgiving. And we're going to try to do a little bit of painting before things get busy around. Joining me yesterday, we know that we finished up our Hungarian Nights, first set of 4. And this is what we glued these two guys together. These are the file leaders. They're armored, and then we've got 6 others that'll be going on the rear rank of the stands there. Working on these 2 6-night stands. We've got 4 of the elements done, and we've got the figures that go in the 2 and the 3 position complete. All right, so these are the 4, 5, 6 guys. We're going to set them off to the side for a moment, and we're going to go ahead and prime the file leaders here, or the wedge leaders would be more accurate. So we're going to do that with Vallejo surface primer. Mix this stuff up and prime these 2 guys. Good morning, Kevin. Jeez, you can't sleep over there. 4 a.m.? Wow. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for being here. Let's can't open this thing without getting even one little bit of paint on you. I think pretty much every kind of paint container has a drawback. And that's this one. I did some picking up yesterday, but the picking up did not involve cleaning my desk area, so it's a little bit more cluttered than I'm used to. Probably still cleaner than most, which is not saying a whole lot, but let's go ahead and use this brush right here. I don't know, that one's still pretty. Let's see what we got. One of these brushes that we don't care that much about. We don't need to do anything very technical with this stuff. This one should be fine. Just go ahead and dump these and get them out of the way. Yeah, this is just some of the brushes I have. So, not bragging, I just buy them in bulk. And as it is, I'm getting pretty low, so we're going to have to risk probably ordering some of them through Amazon, and we'll do a review on what I get. Ordering brushes sight unseen. Okay. Black surface primer. Before we get started with that, let's this is bending up here. Still happening. I wonder why. All right. I want to use the back side. There's a all right. These are the 2 guys we're going to use. We have to use hardly any of this material. So I'm literally going to take it here from, if I can get this to go where I want it to, which I can't, I'm literally going to take it just from the little bit that's dripped there, just from the top, because it is such a small amount to be using for this. So, no, I was actually expecting a bigger mouse. Let's try this again. try to take it from here. 2, 3. Let's see if 3 drops will do it. And at first we'll take us from there. Let's close this in case so we don't have a problem with that later. All right. And this stuff goes on real easy. It's not like it's built-in thinned or now these are roundway horses, and these 2 horses happen to be the exact same pose of each other, but the figures that are riding them are different. That's kind of mixed and matched packs, because they're, other than their command packs, which have, I think they have 3 figures in their command packs, but, and all the other mounted are 4. Other than them, every pose in each pack of 4 is the same. So, you can use them on there or do like I like to do, mix and match. Mix horses, mix riders, mix, mix them up. They've got packs, so say English Knight, but there's no reason you can't mix them in with another one, because there's nothing particularly unique to most of these figures. If you use them in the right time period, they mixed and matched armor all the time. So I just do it for variety. I don't mind figures looking uniform. If there were uniform figures, if you're talking about like legionnaires or figures that are equipped by maybe the state, but these are mercenaries, so they're bringing what they had. So and just getting underneath there just for good measure. Not that you need to prime anything or even see it down there, but you'll know that it's there. All right, so this guy's completely done, and man, this stuff went on really, really, really well. Really, really well. Okay, now this other guy, this guy's got a mace. And we'll do the same thing with him. We're going to do all 12 of these knights before we spray any of them and seal them. And then we'll assemble them together in the 2 units. It's a deep unit, so I believe what I did last time was I have marked here where the figures are going to be, and what we'll do is we'll pick out which 6 guys go on here, and then we'll take the 3 back ones and we'll glue them in and do the terrain here. We're leaving this terrain not done. Then when that's completely done, then we'll do this part up here. That's just, it's very hard to reach these 3 figures in the back if these are in the way up here. So that's what Last time I had to do kind of a little strategy like that when I was doing the chariot as well. I built a couple of chariots for my terracotta warrior Chinese army, and same thing. You got to build that in sections, just for being able to reach in there. And you could probably get in here and do everything in one shot, but it's gonna be a mess. So we'd do everything except like the grass. So you'd still do all the terrain and everything in two separate stages. When it comes to putting the, say, tufts in the grass, we'll leave that for last when all the figures are on there. I'm sure we'll see that on video, because lately I don't think I've been doing any painting not on video. So I know some people will say they're building cataphracts or something like that. They're trying to put four figures on a 40 by 30 stand and just can't do it. And I haven't had that much trouble with it. It's the it's chariots on a 40 by 40 that are difficult because of depth. So if you're going to do overhang, you want to make sure that it overhangs towards the back. That way, at least your figures can go into frontal contact with someone else. You're not always going to have someone behind you, but you're almost always going to have somebody in front of you. So you want to make sure those fit in there correctly. And if you can't, it's not a big deal, because you could just say, okay, well, these guys are really touching, and then just adjust them when people recoil or what have you. It's not that big a deal, as long as you're verbal about what your intentions are, so that when both people can be aware of them when you're going into combat or what have you. Wouldn't it be wouldn't that be easier using a shorter hair brush? I don't have one. I use what I have, and I want to use a brush that's already seen had the best of its days behind it. Now this one's working fine. I don't know that I've got that many brushes that are that much shorter. I Yeah, I tend to like liners better anyways. I'm not sure what this brush was originally. Oh, it was a number one liner. That's what it is. It's whatever came in the multi-pack. This one has when brushes are in good shape, they really only have one use. When they start being crappy like this, you can use them for priming, you can use them for painting the terrain, applying glue, white glue, obviously. There's many boats. There are many that are in this category, so we don't use the quality ones for this. I've got a tiny little bit left. Can we get through, or do we have to apply more? I think I can get through to this. Okay. Okay. I'd love to roll into these guys, but they're not dry yet. So maybe we'll finish painting this. We'll finish painting this horse that we started yesterday, and then when we're done with it, we'll swing back to these guys, because I'd really like to do the armored guys first. And let's see if I can get away with a tiny little bit here because I need just a little more. That was 3 drops for 2 figures of paint. We got some underside stuff here. Okay. Put that in the rinse. Okay. Right, as we were. You work on this little guy right here. You spray paint your primer. I did too, until I discovered this stuff. Because when I spray paint, I still have to go back and hand paint what I missed. So, and the problem is what I was hand painting, the acrylic enamels and enamels I was using for the hand painting were just misbehaving and drying up on me because they're these style bottles. Let's see, where are they? Did I throw them away? I may have thrown them away. Now here's one of them. Yeah, Model Master. These don't seal worth a crap. So it starts getting gummed up. The last time I used this stuff, I had to thin it with black as I went, and ended up getting a super shiny appearance. It doesn't matter. I cover it anyways, but it's distracting. And this literally has no smell. I don't know what the hell this is made out of, but this has no smell. So that's nice. Main span. Let's see what it says on here. It says something about polyurethane. Primer, acrylic polyurethane. I'm not sure what's in here, but you don't want to drink it, but I've been really happy with that because it's almost like it's like pre-thinned, so it goes on. It's going on almost like an enamel that's thinned down. It flows really well, and it's expensive. It's like $20 freaking, which is a lot, but you get a lot of it in here as well. I'm planning on not buying any more of that for a while. Let's put it that way. But I was originally using the Model Master stuff, and it's just not working out for me anymore. I was using the Model Master Acryl for the longest time. I mean, like, let me get my dates straight. At least 20 years. I was using the Model Master Acryl, and they stopped carrying it here in the stores. And I don't want to mail order that, so I decided to mail order something else. I'm happy with it so far. I'm not a Vallejo fanboy from the standpoint that I'll only use their products. I use everybody's stuff, so all right. Let's see what we got here. Gonna use this here and this one. All right. And spray paint's gotten so expensive. Oh, you know what? Another thing that happened is people have. It seems like almost everybody has this bad story of their varnish behaving poorly when they, due to humidity or something like that, when they sprayed. I've never had that issue, but I did have an issue spraying black on my black primer when I did. Who was it that I did? The Irish? Who was it? I did them recently. Some army I did recently, and I want to say they had horses. I went to spray paint them, and I think I was too far from the figure that I sprayed it. I didn't want to get too close to it. I mean, I must have been, I don't know, maybe a foot away or something like that when I sprayed it, and or maybe I just used cheap spray paint. Regardless, whatever the reason was, it got a very grainy effect on the spray, so I had to deal with that. But it was the figures that look like crap too. Man, I can't remember who they are. I can't remember who they are, but I painted them recently, and I just dealt with it. It wasn't that bad. Who did I do before these guys? I did the Irish before the Hungarians. Who did I do before them? Man, I don't remember. That's happening a lot more and more to me. Hopefully, I'm not on my way to going to a home. I'll be the painter at the home. Oh well, I could just wear a diaper and get more painting done. I would like to say, imagine what kind of shape I'd be in if I'd ever done drugs. It'd be worse. I don't remember who it is, but man, I had to deal with that. Yeah, I forget what it was, but I actually never had a bad spray paint issue before that. That's not why I switched. I switched because the painting the hand paint I needed to do after it was done, because you always have to hand paint some, because in order to get every single spot with a spray, you got to go like really thick in certain areas. And yeah, I didn't like that. That's where you cover up detail. But I mentioned in the video who it happened to, an earlier video with the spotty thing, but I don't remember. They were figures that weren't very good to begin with, so it wasn't a huge. It wasn't like they were Old Glory or minifigs. I wonder who it was. That's gonna drive me crazy, damn it. But that's what I used to use too. I actually hand painted for a while. Then I started spray painting to cut down my speed. But then, the, I mean, I didn't want to brush with Vallejo. I don't mind using Vallejo to, touch up some place that's not going to get any kind of activity. Like this spot, I missed it right here. Well, it doesn't matter if I use a long lasting black or not, because it's a place that you can't get your finger in there and touch it, so it's never going to get scuffed up. So, yeah, it wasn't any of these guys. I don't know who it was. Must have been somebody in the. I don't remember any figures being really crappy. Honestly, I don't remember who I painted before the Irish. The Courage. Was it any of them? I don't remember. I don't remember. I bet when I look it through the figures, I'll know who it is. But I covered it up pretty well, but I don't even remember who it was. Joke's on me. You had bad effect in cold weather. I've never had that problem. There's no cold weather here. That's not true. It'll get under freezing. I wish it'd stay that way, but we have days. I'll spray in the garage. It'll be raining outside. 99% humidity. Never had an issue with the spray can. I think the problem I had with the spray can was a combination of a crappy, cheap spray paint, and being too far away from the figure. So it was just like, in other words, I didn't get good coverage everywhere. And ended up, I had to go over it anyways, and I think I just got just little bits of it. I was just too far away from it. But I've never had a problem due to humidity. No, or temperature. Now, I can see I can see the cold being an issue because it does freeze. But with warm, I've never had an issue. Now, I do leave my spray bottles in the garage. So I have a little station there where I spray, and then when I'm done, I put it back down in there. I don't think about bringing it in. It's not like I made a conscious decision. So the bottle, the spray can is always at the temperature that you're spraying in. So the issue that people may have with cloudiness may be because of the temperature change. They keep it at 72 degrees, 72 degrees inside the house. Go out to a hot garage, it's 90 or more. Spray, it's changing 20 degrees and it's affecting that way. It's changing 20 degrees at the last minute. And that may be the issue, but I'm not a scientist. So, but that makes sense that it would be something like that. Or I think somebody else mentioned they may be putting too much spray paint on. They might be putting it on too thick. I just do a minimum because I don't want it to cover up on any detail. And the spray paint's really expensive. Really expensive. I use the Model Master stuff. So it's very expensive. I remember it was like $3 a can, and it's like $8 now almost. So and I don't like the fact that I may be breathing some of that stuff in. Although I'm not wearing a mask or anything, but I do hold my breath while I spray and get the hell out of there. So it's not something I'm doing all the time. You guys know I paint slow, so it's not like I'm spraying out there every day. I may go out and spray maybe once a month for a few seconds. So, but we'll still spray for the ceiling. Gotten in the habit of calling it varnishing, even though varnishing has kind of a connotation that it's going to turn out glossy. That's how varnishing is on furniture, anyways. Glossy summer gloss. So, for those of you that play computer games, I just came across there's a sale on Steam right now, a pretty big one, considering until December 1st. So, you might want to check that out if you do that. I just wasn't looking for anything in particular because this is my main hobby. But I did pick up I'm a Total War fan for most of the games. They inspire me to do this painting. And I haven't picked up the Rome 2. I've heard good and bad things about it. I played the first one a lot with a bunch of mods. And the Rome Total War 2 is now on sale for $15 with the Imperator edition, Emperor's edition, that has basically every mod they've come out with. So I picked that up, and it just got done downloading when I woke up at 5. So we messed around with that for about 30 minutes. But there's lots of other stuff on sale right now, so you might want to check that out. I think it's good until December 1st, and I'm sure they'll run another Christmas one as well, but I just figured I'd pass that on. Courage, yes. Yeah, I found out it's, I was calling him Kawarage for a long time, but courage seems to be what the native speakers call that. So I've been trying to call that almost like garage, but courage or something like that. So yeah, those guys. I still don't know what figure that was. Oh well, that's good. That means it didn't turn out too bad. I really like the way that army turned out, those Arabs. They're not fancy looking guys, so I'm enjoying the painting the non-fancies. Anybody can paint the bright colors, but the subtle ones, I'm enjoying a lot more. Okay, we could stop there. Let's go a little bit more. Let's give it a little bit more of the core color. Yeah, I don't know how you stay up till 3. I I can't do it. I have to plan ahead to do anything on New Year's because I'm not worth a damn after 10. But then I'm up at 5 a.m. every morning. Have to be. I want to do what I want to do. And I get off to a good start. So some people work out first thing in the morning when they wake up. Not me. I can find time to do that later. I go have some breakfast, some coffee, and get some painting in. All right, let's lighten this up. Do we have any white that's still alive? Probably. Well, there's enough of it here that we can work with that. Bought Rome 2 when it first came out for 70. Yeah, I never got it. I didn't have a computer I didn't have a home computer that I could play games on. Well, I didn't have a home computer since 2012 when my last one died until March of this year. So that kept me, anything that came out during that time, I didn't get. I did any gaming, it was on the Xbox One. And I'm not doing much gaming at all, but I'm not passing it up for $15. I figured there's $15 of inspiration I can get out of it. You know, hopefully they got stuff straightened out like in the original one. And the original Rome one came out as soon as I got into DBA, so it was really interesting, and the soundtrack was incredible. So that kind of fit well together. It came out at the same time that was the first time I was playing anything ancients or medieval for the first time. So that was really kind of cool. But they had all the Egyptians all wrong with making them look all like New Kingdomy when it was they should have been Ptolemaic. But we played a couple of them. I played two mods with that one. One of them was Rome Total Realism, and then we also did Europa Barbarorum, which was a lot more challenging and a lot better. And they fixed all that stuff on there. So I was a big fan of playing Paris in those two mods because it was very challenging. But yeah, I held off on buying it. And I heard some good and bad, so I figured I'll take a $15 risk. Everything's available there. I noticed they have a mod there for the Civil Wars, so looking forward to jumping in that as well. So, but I I can't. I mean, I booted up this morning for, and I could play 30 minutes, and I'm like, let's go get some paint done because that just doesn't have lasting. This is what I like to do. This is what I like to do. I have something to show for it, and we can make the videos and all that other stuff. That's just a side thing. So I guess I'm becoming more of a painter than I am a gamer, even more as time goes on. So I'm enjoying this aspect of it. So some of those games have gotten really, really complicated. I had the Three Kingdoms Chinese one because I love that period. I love all the new king. I love all the Romance of the Three Kingdoms stuff, but it's so complex and so many ways to skin a cat. And I already have a job, so I don't. I I've struggled with trying to get into that one. Risking it going to friends for Thanksgiving. How are you spending yours? Well, I have a very small family. My mom lives seven doors down from me. We live in a suburban neighborhood, and so we're going over there. Um, and Mother-in-law and the boyfriend are coming as well. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I'm We don't really have that big, despite what the county likes to push. This is not a very high risk area. I'm not worried about it to begin with, and I mean, we don't go to bars and stuff like that. We don't really engage in stuff that's high risk behavior, anyways. Never really had, so we should be fine. If I get really sick, then that's 2 weeks I can be painting, right? Instead of being at work. Sounds like a win-win, right? Finished my 100 Years War English Army a few months back with Jean on the stage. With Jean on the stick at camp. Okay. Want to start a new army now, perhaps ancient Egyptians. Okay. Welcome, Brazook. Hopefully I got that correctly. Bra. It's got to be Bra. Zook. Yeah. Welcome. 100 Years War English. Yeah. A popular army. A good army, challenging with bows. New Kingdom Egyptian, always a good army. Yeah. I don't have either one of those two because everyone I have around me has both of those two armies. So New Kingdom Egyptian, definitely the most popular army out of book one. DBA, of course. Oh, I can't see what that is. It's Jean in French. Well, but that's all. Jean is John in French. So I wonder how you say those two differently. I certainly can't pronounce them both the same. Jean, and you're French. Nothing wrong with that. Welcome. I have several people from France that I communicate relatively recently. Wait till they find out you built a 100 Years War English army instead of a French one. Ooh. No, if I was going to do one, and I've done this before, I would do the French because both Luke and Mitch both have English army. They don't paint, so they have to buy whatever is available for sale, and you know, I've got all the figures to do 100 Years War, French Army. I didn't buy them for that, but just with the other ones. I would probably do one of the time period between Poitiers and Agincourt. So I would probably, my leader would probably be the Bertrand de Guesclin. Is that how you say his name? The Breton guy? Because his heraldry is really cool. He's got a, I believe, he's got a bird of prey. I'm a fan of bird of prey heraldries as opposed to lions. That's what mine is. I have a bird of prey on my coat of arms, so I'm partial to that. But yeah, because the equipment that they would use in the early 100 Years War and the late is different. It's different enough that someone like me could tell the difference. It would annoy the hell out of you. Now, I could do one that probably would mix both and then I cover all the units, but you know, um, I I'd know the difference. So um, that's probably what I would do. Is I would do the well, first of all, I'd start reading a lot of super detailed history about it. That's how I get into stuff. And then I paint so slow that I'll be done with the history by the time I have to make a decision. But I have basic understanding, more than basic understanding of most of these conflicts because I am interested in history. But it's not until you start researching this, actually how to paint the armies and stuff like that. But that army would take a lot of effort trying to do the research on them. There's a lot of the information's out there, but yeah, I can see that being enjoyable. I'm just kind of enjoying doing the more armies you don't see as often. So I have two people that I know of that that do not like the French, but like the French armies. I'm like, what's wrong with the French? They're people too. That's like saying, you don't like people from the United States, but you think everybody from the United States is a New Yorker. Well, I wouldn't like them either. Okay, my opponent had made the French, okay, and I beat him every time for now. He is not rescued Jean once, okay. Your dark in the skies got me interested in the Amishi. Okay, well, the problem with the Amishi is they do make figures for them. Is it Boyda that makes them? They're like all light horse or all bow, aren't they? Or all, it's just too much all or nothing. Yeah, don't let me discourage you. You'd have an army that no one has. And those guys are the enemies of the pre-samurai. Oh, look at this. I missed a spot down here at the bottom. No worries. They're the enemies of the Kofun samurai, right? The pre-samurai Japanese Kofun guys. If I remember correctly, maybe they're even available a little later. I know they're low book 3, aren't they? I think they are. Like 3-6 or something like that. Yeah. I'm all for people making armies that are unusual. Like if they made figures for them, by all means do the Toltecs, but Toltec figures. But that army's like all solid blade, so like what's the point? All of one thing. It's too much. But I'm always encouraging people to do armies that you don't see every day. That way, it's more fun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I won't build 100 Years War English Army. Both of my friends have one, and I have Burgundians, which the troop makeup is almost the same. Um, I love the Burgundian armies. They're I like them a lot. All right, so how are we gonna paint this guy? All right, so this guy's kind of a common guy. Um, are these guys dry yet? Because this is a lot easier to make this decision to work on these guys. Oh, I'm saved. These guys are done. Perfect. I lollygagged enough. I'll have to think about what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do with these guys is um, they're going to be, because it looks like they've got like a long, um, like a waistcoat on. And do all of them have that? This guy does. This guy kind of does too. Okay, so they're going to have probably colorful but not too bright. And then their shields aren't going to be for individual heraldry. They'll be there'll either be provinces or stuff like that of Hungary, because they're mercenaries. So they're gonna leave their identity at home, kind of thing. So A armies, all three bow. Okay, I like bow. I like bow. Okay. All right, so let's look at the horse armor. That's the first thing we're going to do. No, actually, we got to do the horses first. Do you have a black one? We don't. Okay, so one of these will be black. And just for conflict's sake, we'll make another one white. There we go. Okay, that's decided. Well, who gets to be black? It's too obvious to have this guy black. So this guy will have the black horse. He'll have the white one. So let's go ahead and do a black horse. And then we'll do the armor the same. And one of these, we're going to take these armor plates and we're going to alternate them red and white. We could do one that has a metal, a red, a metal, a red, a metal, and red, and then the other one has. Um, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, we said this guy had the black horse. Let's do that. Let's do that. See, this is what I do. I like to not plan too much. Just kind of wing it. And, if I make the wrong decision, I can repaint it. And I'm telling you, after doing this for like 30 years, I've only had to do that once. On one figure, it was the general for my Nanchow army. I think I painted him red. I didn't like how he turned out. There wasn't enough contrast, so he ended up being blue. I think that's what happened. So, I had figures for Eastern Forest American. Are those, they used to be, they could be all bow or all warband. I don't know if they changed that. I need to go get some more coffee because I'm out. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, it's just a fine line between painting something unusual and then painting something that there's no information about the guys available. And I'm not saying Eastern Forest Americans are one of those, but if you were to do, Toltecs, if you were to do some of these more obscure things, it becomes difficult sometimes to find out information about how they were painted, and you need what kind of equipment they used and what it looked like. You need to have a little bit of a inkling, or just you just have to pull everything out of thin air. And while many enjoy that, I do not, because it makes me have to make hard decisions. And there's always that whole part, that whole doubt of, am I going to choose correctly? So I had to pull a lot of stuff out of thin air for the Nan Chow. There's stuff available on them, but not that much. But I really like how it turned out, but I did have to put some thought into it. If it didn't take forever, I could always take pictures of the figures and then go on something like Photoshop or a drawing program and fill them in different colors and see how they look. But that's going to take me longer to do than just paint the damn figure. Yeah. Okay. This figure is a cool figure, but he's got like these armored nipples. If you look in the front of it. All right. Let's. Do we have any brown left that's alive? There we go. I want to add a little bit of brown so it's not completely black. They tell me black horses aren't completely black. That's what they say. I've seen them. It depends. Some of them, this is just stylized painting anyway. So, I mean, sometimes they look realistic, but I like a little cartoony look. Just a tiny little bit. Cartoony look, but with realistic colors. How about that? I still can't believe I don't remember what figures those were. I guess if they turned out bad, I'd really remember who they are. So, didn't make that lasting of an impression. Didn't make that much of a lasting impression on me. So Kevin, you haven't been getting together with any friends at all, or you're going somewhere where there's more people than what you're used to? Because when it first hit, they started shutting things down. I didn't game with Mitch for like 5 weeks, mainly for respect for the wife, who I didn't want to go and game with him, and while she's staying at home and taking all these extra precautions just out of respect. Um, but I mean, we were getting our temperatures taken every day at work, and he worked at a grocery store, so same thing with him. He's got all kinds of. Well, I would say he's in contact with more things than I am because I'm not really in contact with that many people at work. I haven't even lost a day at work. We haven't even shut down. As a matter of fact, we're so busy that I won't be able to use all my vacation days this year. I can't carry them over. So, and they don't pay us for them. So it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. This is kind of a unusual circumstance. But, yeah, I haven't missed any work at all. And Aki hasn't either, but I don't really come in contact with the public. The public doesn't come and mess with me, and I can control who I come in contact with. But that may be a little too bright. Let's see if you got. Are you trying to make me tired? Oh boy. Mostly three bows, some Saloy, and general, and one option for three warband. Female, maybe. Hello, came in at the word armored nipples. Yes. Or as they say in your language, it's Sapanza nipples. Bring out Sapanza nipples. Panza nipples los. We have a breakthrough. I've never said that before. Perfect timing, my German friend. Hobby stores not allowing gaming. Yeah. Yeah. I hate to be negative, but I don't think the situation is going to change in the next year. Let's just leave it at that. Everybody's excited about conventions. I don't think there's going to be a Historicon. It is what it is. We're still going to get together every week. Nobody's keeping me from doing that. If we have a zombie attack, but on Tuesdays, on Monday nights, I'm still going over there. So that's not stopping. We need some kind of. I'm not going to work this hard, and not do what I love the most. So that shit ain't happening. So, and work is extremely busy, and has been. Construction is kicking ass here. It's almost like the construction industry said, you know what? We're not falling for that bullshit that happened in 2009 when everything shut down and things canceled for no reason whatsoever. It's like, we're not going through that crap again. So, I forget there's a thing going on, honestly, until I go to a store and then I see everybody, dressed like it's the, World War III. So, yeah, we're still going to do these paint videos and game videos, and can't really do them in December, not because I don't have time, but Mondays are going to be really, really busy, and I don't know what time I can get off work and get over there. So I don't want to commit to have to get there at 5:30. I'm sorry, leave at 5 and get there about 6 or so. So I don't know if there's going to be any more gaming videos in December. That's why we had this huge Monday, Tuesday thing while we could. It's just going to be too busy at work. So, okay, so this is the black horse. Right. Let's let's get the metal out here. I got several things earlier this year that were going to be really cool for the convention scene. And I just find it's ironic that that's when all this happened. I got one of those I bought one of those carts finally that we can stick all our stuff. We'll move from table to table, almost like one of those beach carts that have the sides that are that are made of fabric to move all our figures from table to table. We got to put things away sometimes from back in the car, so it makes it easy to move. We got one of those. Picked up I was gifted a gimbal for the camera, which we're going to put that to use soon next time we do one of those big battle games. Because when you have a static camera, when I tried to zoom in with the camera, it just wasn't working. You were getting zero resolution on it. But you pick it up and move it around, you can. So we're probably going to implement that in the next one that we did. It wasn't too much of a pain playing and running the camera, as long as I was just one of the players. That worked out pretty well. So, but I get a whole lot of this. But slot car racing, and most wargaming is sitting painting on your own anyway. Best laid plans of mice and men. Yes. Yep. It's all right. Maybe this was good for the hobby industry. People that make paints and miniatures, and I mean, I don't need any more miniatures, but all right, let's paint this armored fellow here. I got choices to do on the horse, so we'll just forego this until this armored guy's painted. Hopefully, the good thing that comes out of this, and I've said this before, is that the world realizes some jobs can be done from home because that saves on transportation cost, waste of fuel, etc. I can't do my job from home. I wish I could. I would. I would love to be able to wear whatever the hell I want to at work and do the work. But it's not really feasible for what I do. But lots of people, like the wife, they could work from home and you're not burning that fuel. She actually lives. I work kind of in the country, but the next business over is where she happens to work. It's just pure coincidence, and we can't carpool together because I have a strict. I have to be there by a certain time, and I have to leave at a certain time when things are done. And she does not have that schedule. She's got to take care of the daughter, and she leaves earlier, and she's got the flexible schedule, but is working many times when she's not there at the office. And mine's the opposite. I don't do anything when I'm not there, and but I have very inflexible hours. So I guess it kind of works together, being opposites like that. But it'd be great if she didn't have to go into work. Save on cost. I mentioned these are roundway figures. I happen to like roundway a lot. Um, Heard that the people are having some issues getting their roundway figures in. The guy who's running it now has not very been responsive to emails, and he's got some health issues or whatever. But I think his biggest issue, I've dealt with him several times. My biggest issue with him has just been communication. Although I haven't ordered from him in over a year, I get scared when I order something I don't hear back from people. Just a simple email. Hey, listen, we've got your order. It's going to take me a little while to get to it. Just put your mind at ease. I'm not ordering anything that I need in a hurry. You know, but he's a nice enough fellow. But I think he's got some health issues, and I'm sure that this current situation doesn't make things any better. But John Roberts, that's what his name is, John Roberts. Yeah, but he's a single man operation. He takes PayPal, all that stuff. When they were run by Navor wouldn't take PayPal. You couldn't use a credit card for an order or any of that stuff. You had to mail payment in no, I'm not doing business with that. I don't care what the reason is. I No, I don't do that. So I'm glad that Navor no longer has them because I wouldn't be buying any of them. I'm not dealing with that. Now, I've heard good things about their service. I don't care. I'm not writing people checks. I'm not mailing things in the mail. Um, I don't buy stamps. So um, I want I want the people on the other end to receive payment immediately so they can start working on getting my product to me. Not hopefully it gets there in the mail and a week later. And no, that's just not me. Or send them a fax. I have no idea what the phone rates are to the UK, and I don't care. We live in a time period where I'm not paying for long distance. So um, I don't understand why they don't want to do it that way. But hey, you run your business however you want. People can send me PayPal money if they can, and I don't have a business, and I've been able to do that for over 10 years, maybe even longer than that. So I just think that you need to make it easy for people to spend money with you so that they will. I'm not saying don't take checks, but I worked at a store before. Taking checks is the biggest risk you have. There's no guarantee you're going to get any money from it. Credit card, okay, so the credit card company charges you 15%. So mark up everything 20%. End of story, done, right? And I don't use credit cards anyways. I believe in using my debit. But same thing. Make it easy for people to spend money with you so that they will. You put too many stops and difficulty in how to spend money, people may reconsider and say, I really don't need that impulse buy. You just lost a sale. I thought that army you were trying to remember were those Arabic type guys. Yeah, but I don't remember which figures it was. There was some figures that just came out sprayed. It may have been them. I painted them recently. Um, Maybe it was. They came out grainy, and I had to kind of just deal with it. And I remember the figures that it happened to weren't very good. You can't bear that. It's 2020. Anyone can get a PayPal account, set up a shopping cart website. Exactly. Same with not having pictures of your product. Shocking. Look, if you don't want to take pictures of your figures, okay, send them to me. That's Tony Aguilar. Send me one pack of everything you have. I will take pictures of them and send them back to you. I'll give them a thin wash because that's really the best. I don't think people should show pictures of their figures painted because the style may not be what you want. The best thing is when people take, the lead figure like this and just give them that thin black wash, right? Because all the details pop and everything. You send me your figures you want to sell them, and I'll take pictures of them, and of course I get to keep the figures, you know. But you don't have to pay me for them, as long as they're 15 millimeter. As long as somebody's not interested in buying, I don't need more lead and scales I'm never going to use. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, you know what it is? I think it's people that may be in an industry that they're just doing it as a job and they don't love what they're doing. Um, yeah, I love window shopping for figures. Absolutely. I came across some figures I didn't never seen before the other day. It was in the, if you guys look at the Dark in the Skies 3, I think it's the army Marty was using. He had some 15 millimeter knights I'd never seen before. And I think they're before my time, but I think they're the Perry's War Games Foundry in 15 millimeter. I'm not sure when they discontinued those, but they're just trying to the size of them and the style that they're done in. They're nothing else I've ever seen. So it's unusual when I come across figures that I don't recognize, and that's that's got to be what those guys were. So he's been doing that period a lot longer than I have, but I I didn't start doing this stuff until 2004. So anything that was out of production before that, I just don't really know what they look like. And there's some older figures like some of the Thistle and Rose. I know they're going back into production, but you got to get pictures. I don't know what they look like. And the Jacobite or something like that. I don't know what those guys look like. There's a few manufacturers that are, you know, a lot of the Falcon figures. I know that some of them have a style, but there's not pictures of many of those online. Um, yeah, it's unusual when I don't run into figures that I recognize, but I don't like when I see stuff like that that's out of production. It's like, man, these look really good. Why don't they make them anymore? Have you ever thought about doing videos comparing different miniatures? I have. I love talking figures. I mean, more than anything else, just about. Um, Maybe even more than doing the actual gaming. I was surprised when I told somebody the other day. I said, when I'm done painting a figure, an army, I'm not even that interested in painting, playing with them. I've looked at them for 300 hours. I'm like, I don't need to see them anymore. They found some of those molds last year. Don't know if they're going to release them again. You mean War Games Foundry? That's why I say write all that on the bottom of the base. You're talking about the name of the, maybe like, see if I can find one of them here. Like this. This is a Roundway Venetian Guardsman with Warhammer. And here's their code, RKV5. Oh, come on and focus. Yeah, yeah. And this is a minifigs horse, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, judging by his legs, that's minifigs totally. I don't know. You know, the thing is making a video. There's some videos that are really easy to make, like this one. I'm doing what I normally do. You guys are along for the ride. And I'm getting more done than if I wasn't filming this because I have an excuse to not go and say, play some more Rome, Total War, because I'm doing this. So this helps me tremendously. I don't know if it does anybody else any good, but this helps me tremendously in finishing a project. I'm getting a lot more painting this year. I've done more painting this year than any other year. I mean, it's not even close, and it's due to this. I don't know. I don't want to spend 4 hours doing a video and then nobody watches it. That one wouldn't necessarily benefit me. So I guess if enough people are interested in it, but I think a lot of people just they're not interested in painting figures. You know, it's was it you? It was one of my German watchers that said it might have been it might have been Hans or it might have been one of the other ones that mentioned that. As a matter of fact, it was Hans or it was I can't remember what his name is. Wow, I hope this isn't a sign for things to come. I'll be blowing spit bubbles in the corner there soon. Ziegelman, I think his last name is Ziegelman, was saying that most of the people in that he comes in contact paints with their own miniatures, and in the States that just isn't the case. I Most of the people that I know that have miniatures, they are painted by somebody else, or they bought the army. I think Mitch and Luke are typical of most gamers here, and in there's not that many people painting stuff because it's hard to come across people that do historicals. And when they do historicals, they don't even paint their own figures. So, yes, I know a couple of them. Joe does painting, and I think Joe's always painted like me. But for the most part, people here would just have them painted by somebody else if they had them. I don't see what the point is in having figures painted by somebody else, but I can paint. It's part of my therapy. This is my doctor recommended therapy. I'm kidding, of course. So, wow, what am I going to do with this guy? Let's take a look at these other horses. I think we can stand to have one guy black and silver and red. And I think I would do this guy as opposed to the other one because the other one has a white horse and the white and the silver are going to get lost. So let's do that. Now, if we go silver, red, silver, red, silver, red, silver, red, yeah, it'd be okay. All right, so let's just start. If it sucks, then we just won't do that. It was you. Okay. Still surprising. I find painting really relaxes and you get a finished product, you get that buzz of achievement. Well, you're spot on, sir. That's it. You're exactly right. For all of those things. All of those things. And it may have to do on your age. I'm actually, what, 10 years under the normal wargaming, historical wargaming age. But, when I started doing this, it was like 15 years old. You know, most people were in their 20s. But I've been painting since about 1986. And with the products that are available now, it's a hell of a lot more enjoyable than what it used to be. There's some good stuff out there. That Vallejo surface primer, just some awesome stuff on there. the community of people. Like I said, it's hard to find historical gamers, but you know, I'm interacting with you folks. I know we're all over the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. Um, we all have a common interest. Thank goodness you can type in English because my German's not so good. I don't know. I don't know German at all. I only know my select blitzkrieg type words from the Second World War. That's pretty much it. What I'm limited to. I wish I knew other languages, but Spanish. But that doesn't really help a whole lot when it comes to communicating with people that don't speak Spanish. And I don't know technical words, so because I never went to school in it. So, um, okay. All right. So we're going to alternate those um, red and metal. Now, what I wouldn't want to do is I would not want to mix metal and white because white, the way I understand it, at least in heraldry, is the equivalent of of silver or just straight metallic. So you would see that. I mean, maybe you did, but I'm just thinking, that that would not be the common thing. Just like you wouldn't see gold and yellow, because they're kind of the equivalent of each other. Yellow is the representation in heraldry for gold. So I don't want to put either one of those two mixed in with their other colors because it's just going to look wrong. At least it's going to look wrong to me with the perception that I have. Okay, I think before I do the metal on the front, we're going to go ahead and do the red here and make sure we're on the same track. And let's go check that out now. I don't want to use the same red I've been using for everything else, so I think this one's okay. This is not the flat one. This is the flat one. Where's the other one? The red that's called Bermelon. Bermelon. I guess that's supposed to be in Spanish. See, I don't know that word. I heard a Brit once say Americans paint ACW by spray painting one side blue and the other gray. I'm sure there's some people that do that. I agree with what you're saying about videos too. I blogged for a bit and found that I put all that effort and four people would look at the post. Yeah, I stopped doing the blog. The blog is just, people are lazy. People are just naturally lazy. I had a guy who sent me a message about wanting me to do a video of how to learn how to play. So I pointed him in the direction of the video that I think we played 3 battles with a new player, trying to explain everything so you can see different situation. He's like, "Oh, well, that's nice, but can you make a 20-minute video to show other people how to play? You get more viewers." And I'm like, I didn't even respond to him. It just honestly pissed me off. It's like, okay, I'm doing enough stuff. If you can't watch something I've already done in all the videos, why should I spend yet even more time to make it? You can't cover this game in 20 minutes. You're going to leave a lot of things out. And I said before, I don't enjoy the videos on these rules. And I don't think it's my job to do that. I think the author should have done a better job organizing the rule book. He didn't. That was his choice. And I just want to show people what a good time we're having playing this game. But it, you know, I'm haven't even hit 2,000 games. I'm almost on the cusp of it, and we're still finding stuff that's new. So and I'm not a rules person. I mean, I can help but learn them by playing them, but I'm interested in this portion or like the real history and stuff. So I'm already volunteering to do stuff. Don't volunteer me to do other things, It's just like the people that said, "Hey, you should do a video on Big Battle DBA." No, I said I don't like it. We don't really know the rules for it, and I'm not interested in it. So, that leaves people that do big battle videos to do their own videos for that, you know? So, there'll be more content of the stuff that you've seen before, and that's what I do, you know? Um, like we've played that game Gaslands. We've played a handful of times. I'm not gonna make any how to play Gasland videos. I don't know how to play the freaking game. We're gonna get so many things wrong, and that's a disservice, you know? So that'd be like me doing a painting video and I don't have any clue how to paint. Yeah, probably shouldn't be a spokesman for something that you're not trained to be. So, but people are normally lazy. They'll be like, well, I know you did a 20-minute video on that, but can you do this? Can you do this other stuff? Can you do, like, okay, I've done enough. Okay. I'm going to continue doing it, but I don't need, you know, it's cutting into my painting time. And that's really what I need to spend time doing so you guys can see more armies and so I can get therapy. Um, but yeah, don't that's the way volunteering works. If both things work, like if you say, hey, why don't you do a video about this, and we were planning on doing that anyways, or it was a good idea, yeah, we'll go on it. But I'm not going to start doing videos on rules. I was trying to do a weekly thing with question and answer. It didn't work out. I tried it one time. Somebody asked me some questions about elephants. I'd be like, this would be cool to do. I laid everything out in advance with questions so I can answer, and I still left things off. It's just extremely frustrating. So, you do not want me to be frustrated in this hobby, or there may not be any more videos. So keep the volunteers happy, folks, or you'll be doing it yourself. I got to bring the red out more because we're not getting really a good idea of what that looks like right now. When people are volunteering to do something, you don't get to decide how they're going to volunteer, or they're just going to walk away. Anyways, that's my spiel. I would love to do a video comparing different figures. I just don't think anybody would be interested. Just like I would like to do more videos, showcase things where I show some more of my armies, but they take me all day to do them. I mean, it's between the upload time and then putting them together. It's probably 6 hours. That's 6 hours I could be painting. So, will I make more? Yes. Um, I've also been limited by, you see, I'm painting at 5 a.m. or starting really early while everybody's asleep. I've been limited that the other people that I share the home with haven't been traveling out of town like they used to because there's nowhere to go due to the current situation. So, if I knew they were going to be gone for a weekend, I'd be more likely to do one of those videos that I don't have the chance to do on a normal week, but we just haven't had that chance to do that in 2020. So we try to do the gaming videos as often as we can, but I work Monday through Friday, and Mitch has Monday and Tuesday off, so can't do weekend time for that. So we got to try to do it on a Monday or a Tuesday when I'm not slammed with work and can get there at a decent time. So those are all limitations that are, maybe outside the scope of the understanding of people that are watching, but they are limitations. I've gotten to the point where I don't want to play the game if I'm not filming it, just like I don't want to paint if I'm not filming it. So, we got that kind of ingrained in us now. So that's good. There's just too many cool things that happen in a game for us to people not share it. If you watch the videos that happened a couple days ago, you'll see that die rolling is insane. Jason and that insane die rolling that he did with a freaking 6 on it. He still managed to lose some battles, but man, it was a uphill climb. I'll tell you what. But we don't want to play all those games, and people miss out on that kind of excitement and sanity. And I also like to look back on them, a year later. Like, what happened in that battle? Oh, that happened. You started by painting fantasy role playing figures. Many were historical because they weren't many fantasy at the time. Okay. Historical fantasy. There's a game that we used to play a long time ago on the computer. It was a role playing, it was kind of a role playing game. It was set in Germany. I can never remember what the name of this game is. It was set in Germany. This game came out like 1993. And it was set in Germany in like the 1500s. So you had the Fuggers and you had all this stuff. So it was sort of historical. You ran like a band of people. But then there was the plot was that there was satanic stuff involved in it as well, where they were trying to you end up fighting Baphomet or something like that at the end of it. And I can never remember what the name of the game is, but we played that quite a bit. The Fuggers. But yeah, it was set in the 1500s. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember if it was like a microprose game or something like that. But that was historical fantasy. I think it had a game that the name of it was not easy to remember because it was not related necessarily to what the theme was. Um, that was a bad trip you had. No, unfortunately, or well, fortunately, alcohol always took me where I needed to go, and I don't really drink that much. But I started by being a kid. It was a bad trip. Yeah, I don't remember what the name of that game was. No, not Diablo. No, we played, still do. We love Diablo. No, this was specifically set in Germany. I'll have to look up what it was. The guy who was gaming with it, I loved that game. Had EGA graphics. Probably played it on a 386. 386 or 486. That's back when I knew what computers were called. Who knows what the hell they're called now? I had to start from scratch when I bought the laptop and realized, okay, now what are these things again? What are they called? What am I looking for? What's important? What do you mean there's no disk drive? What's an SSD? God, what was the name of that game? I have to look that up today. But yeah, it was historical, but you would have like Teutonic Knights, and I think it was the Teutonic Knights had made a pact with the Satan worshippers or whatever, and so there was like cults and stuff like. And in the last battle, you end up fighting, a big demon, and video games are my big vice, and I have to avoid them as they swallow hours. Yeah, I just let's see, let's put on here German role play game. I'll have to find out what it is. It's called something like Shadowlands or something like that. Something that is not specific to making you think that's, it's not called Landsknechts versus the devil. It's something not specifically related to that time period. I used to do a lot more video gaming, and you don't have that sense of accomplishment when you're done. So let me tell you a little story while I'm painting this red thing. So I didn't paint. I didn't do any video gaming for like 8 years on the computer. So all my gaming was with the Xbox One, which is a lot more affordable, but it's very limited in what you do game wise. So there's a couple strategy games that I played on it that I really enjoyed, but for the most part, it's You're playing stuff that's either like Diablo, which we love that. We play that as a family. And we've put thousands of hours just into the third installment of it. But but most games I'm not particularly interested in just because of the plot or just, I'm not doing any more first person shooters. I've done enough. I've saved the world countless times from zombies, Nazis, and demons. Like, okay, enough of that. How many more times? Okay, I've already put the threat down so many times. I don't need to do that again. So a lot of them just become the same thing over again. But I did play some of the Assassin's Creed games, and the in particular the one that's the Greek one is beautiful, and I'm if I ever get around to painting my Greeks, which I don't have a big incentive to do because Mitch has a whole slew of them, but a lot of like the countryside and stuff is extremely inspirational. That Odyssey game is extremely inspirational for that. But anyways, just to give you a point what I don't like about video games, I don't get frustrated in actual wargaming at all or in painting. But I play a video game and all of a sudden I get pissed off within seconds. So I go and load up a saved game on Odyssey, and I'm on the side of a hill where I had saved, and I need to go talk to people, a group of folks at camp. They're going to give me this mission, and I I'm walking over there, and there's random encounters and stuff with people. I hear the sound of wolves, so I'm like, well, I want to talk to these people because I don't want there to be a fight with wolves in the middle of the camp. I'm talking to these folks and accidentally hit one of them while I'm defending their camp and then don't get the mission, right? So, I mean, it's a tiny short walk. I mean, I'm very close to the camp. Well, so what ended up happening was I fended off the wolves, saved the camp, and as I'm walking over to the person I need to talk to, you end up pressing Y to speak to them. But I got too close to them, and the Y, at the same time I was pressing the Y button down, it switched to assassinate instead of talk, and I ended up assassinating the guy. So I went through all that trouble and still botched it. So I had to load it back up again. You know, that's why I don't play video games because they create. You know how people like yell at at sports games. I yell at video games because it's they're frustrating and stuff like that. From the standpoint of when you do something you don't intend to do, that never happens in miniature wargaming to me. So yeah, I have limited use for them, and I'm certainly not addicted to buying new ones. But I don't know if you mentioned earlier, I happened to see that Steam was running a sale through December 1st on them, so I picked up Rome. The Emperor edition of Rome 2, which supposedly has all the downloads for like $15. I just couldn't pass that up. And I played the first one a lot, along with the Rome Total Realism mod and the Europa Barbarossa mod. At the same time, I was getting into DBA, so that was kind of nice and kind of inspired me to do Rome stuff. But yeah, I've heard some mixed things about the new one. I like that there's formations you can do that automatically can put things into triplex ACs and things like that. So we'll see. But I messed with it for about 30 minutes before I went painting. But at the end of the day, I wanted to paint and feel good about what I did, not just be, frustrating, fighting a bunch of people. But so I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to go go crazy and not do any painting. I mean, I've just played so many video games throughout the years. It's like, okay, more the same. All right, cool. You know, and they've gotten so complicated. I already have a job and my painting I want to get to that I don't need to. I don't want to spend countless hours trying to figure out. I don't want the game to be too simple, but I don't want it to be so complicated that I have to devote advanced studies to to uh, to figure out how to do some things. So, but I grew up with the generation that I am. We had video games our entire. We didn't develop video games. Well, we were the first generation that really got to play them from from the get go. We grew up with them, just like some people grew up with the internet. We didn't grow up with the internet. We grew up with video games. Anyway, this is my long-winded spiel and telling you guys, check out Steam. They're running some pretty big sales from until December 1st. Unfortunately, the problem with that is that everything is now download. You download everything, which I have a piss poor internet connection at home, and it could take sometimes several days to download something. So, okay, there's the red on that. Let's get something in the background. There we go. I don't know if I want to do the front. It ended up looking like a carnival. Let's let's keep it going. See what happens. Let's keep it going. See what happens. If I hate it, I can repaint over it. All right. Let's be positive. I'm positively gonna hate it. All right. Let's see. Silver, red, silver, red, silver, red, silver, red. Okay. So it's an odd number. So I want to end with silver on both ends, I think. Okay, red, silver, red, silver, red, silver, red, silver. Yeah, it's odd. Doesn't mean I can't put the two in the center of the same thing if I wanted to end with the same one. All right, let's try this. Let's get some more of this paint here. Bard's Tail Ultra. Ultima, you mean? Yeah, my buddy liked Ultima a lot. It's not that one, but yeah, you just reminded me of. Never got into Bard's Tale. I know which one you're talking about. Weeks ago, I'm in the middle of a live feed, and all of a sudden it just does this reconnecting spin, and I'm like, what happened? So I had to literally back out of my phone and everything. So when I went back in, I saw I couldn't find my live feed that I had done it, so I didn't even know whether it got uploaded or anything. So this time when I went back in, I said, well, screw that. I'm going to make another video and saying, part two of Thanksgiving painting. And I just did that. And in doing so, it asked me if I wanted to resume my last feed. So that's what we did. So what's gone by? Maybe 15 minutes. So I don't like that it dropped. I don't know why. I've got full 5G signal here, but I didn't want it to leave because I got some people's juices flowing there with the conversations that we're having, and I was on a roll. So yeah, that's what happened. I don't know why it just dropped, but anyways, we're back 15 minutes later. So anyhow, so what are we doing here? So we were talk about bad signal, okay? When are Americans going to get good internet? It's 2020. Yeah. No, I'm full 5G. I'm full 5G signal. I stream through my phone. I have full 4G signal forever here at the location at home, and they upgraded us to 5G, so I have full 5G all the time. So there's no reason it should drop. But anyhow, I can't stream through my home internet because it would be 20 times slower. I did a speed test, and to do 1080p, you need to have a minimum of, I think it's 10 up, no, 10 down and 3 up. And I did a speed test, and I do 60 down, 30 up. And it's still, because it's on mobile, it's limited to 720. So, but speed test at home would be 3 down, less than 1 up. So it's like a third of what I need minimum, or even worse than that. So we can't stream through the internet, and it would we can't stream through the DSL because there's no high speed here in this neighborhood. And even I live in the middle of a city, not in the middle, but suburbs. I don't live anywhere in the boonies or anything. They just it's not here yet. We'll get it when we do, but for the most part, this is the best we can do. I wish we could do this in 1080, but how my phone could do 8K, but there's a limit to everything. So yeah, so that's what happened. Drop the feed. So let's figure out what we're going to do on the front here. Red, silver, red, silver, red, silver, red, silver. Okay, so I want it to end in red on both ends, so it'll tie into the fact that there's silver on the end of here. So somewhere towards the front, we'll end up doing a double layer of one of the colors or the other. And which one it is, we'll worry about that in a second. So let's get the, did we have any silver left over? Yeah, we do. Okay, so which means this one's going to be silver. Yeah, I'm surprised when I came back in and said, "Do you want to resume your feed?" I'm like, I didn't want it to drop to begin with. Well, it's not even 2 hours in. Okay, and then this one, let's go to this side. This one will be silver. Okay, and then it's a double silver in the middle. Cool, that'll work. Let's do that one there. Okay, and the other ones are red. Got it. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Just shy of 8, it dropped. There's just too many people on the internet. Some of you guys don't deserve a voice. We need us producers need to be able to have all the bandwidth. It's all those damn TikTok people using up all the bandwidth. Watching cat videos. We're trying to improve humanity's understanding of medieval warfare. What are you guys wasting your time on that stupid stuff? All right, those two. All right, let's bring this up. Yeah, a little bit more red here. Yeah, that was interesting. I could actually see the comments after that happened after I had lost my connection. That's cool. I guess the last time it happened, I didn't know I could even reconnect. I didn't know that was an option. Now I know. So if I get disconnected again, when I'm not done painting, what I'm going to end up doing is just try to go back in and see if it'll reconnect. I've said it before, I'm not a technology person. I'm just a painter here. And we add a little bit of white to that at the end of the last one. And just to brighten it up a tiny little bit. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if this is going to fly, but we're going to keep going only because this is starting to look kind of circus-like. But he is charging the pack, so maybe it'll work or whatever. But we don't need to add any more red to this, I don't think. So we're going to go ahead, with that said, we're going to go ahead and put the little armored plates here on the neck of this horse, and we're going to just make them a standard metallic color. Not going to make them red, not going to add any bronze into that. Don't want this guy to get out of control. Okay. All right. And we're going to take these plates that are underneath here, and we're going to make them all metal as well. There's plates that are here. And there's a little bit of metal here on the edge. I'm going to do that all metallic as well. Okay, well, that part's done. All right. We could probably do this. We could do the sword as well, even though we're going to end up brightening that up to the mithril silver. It should at least have the base color on that. Be the only thing on here that's mithril silver. I want to keep these swords bright and polished. You know that they mean business. Now, let's look at the bronze here and make sure that we got everything on there that we need in that color. I don't think there's anything I want to add on to them that would be bronze as well on the figure. I think we're good there. Let's just get a standard leather color for the little dagger. And we'll get a colorful looking scabbard color. So let's go ahead and get our little leather color here. This one here, just mahogany brown. On the same color. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving from the desert. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you too from the swamp. I work in a desert. I guess that would work. I'm always dusty. I was mentioned to the wife we're due to come up on our leases soon, and I would love to have a Jeep. I just don't want to pay what a Jeep is for. And I just mean a regular Wrangler style Jeep. But no point in having something nice. I end up working at a construction site and it gets all like dusty. And I don't really like washing my vehicle when I know in best case scenario 2 days later it's going to be trashed. So yeah. And they're too expensive. You pay a lot of money for all that 4x4 stuff that you probably use, but I do not. So most 4x4 I've ever used out of a Jeep was we rented one when we went to Colorado 2 years ago, and I had to drive in snow, ice for the first time, and but it wasn't even it was an automatic Jeep, so it really didn't even count. Oh, I'd want a stick, but you pay a lot of money for that stuff you don't use. So I think you mentioned something on one of your posts a few months ago about a boat, and I'm like, the hell do you need a boat for there? There's nowhere near water, and you guys got a couple of lakes that are pretty big. I was like, oh, I guess that's what it's for. I didn't know there was any lakes in the state you live in, but um, I guess you guys could go down to Mexico, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to drive anything into Mexico and try to get back in. That'd be a pain. That'd be a major pain. Wranglers are very expensive. I have a Tacoma I've been very happy with. Yeah, we're on the. I have a 4Runner. I love my Toyotas, but I don't want to pay that much for gas. It's gonna go up. Gas is okay right now, but it's gonna be a nightmare soon. Probably double in price. I had an Xterra for a while and I loved it. Got it used, but I was averaging like 16 miles a gallon. That's crazy. I don't drive that much, but it adds on. It adds on. So at the end of the day, it's just a vehicle. I use it to go to work, some on the weekends, and I'm not in love with any vehicle that's out there anyway. So, and if I was, I'd have to take it to work, and like I said, it'd end up getting all nasty and dustified. So it's good to dream. Lots of lakes, plus lakes all around the states next door. I don't take personal vehicles to Mexico. Yeah, yep. All kinds of bad things could happen. I don't necessarily mean illegal things. Just all the drama. Yeah, I think you mentioned that boats were cheap here in Florida, but they're expensive where you're from. So I guess it's supply and demand. There's a lot of boats here, and I have as much as I like boating. I don't think I'll ever own one. I just assume once a year, just rent one, have one chartered for the day or whatever. I just the more boating I do, the less painting I would do, and yeah, I'm not gonna get things finished up that way. And I have a feeling they really go through a lot of gas. We went scalloping a few months ago, and just chartered a boat for the day, and it was expensive, but it's if that's what you use it for once a year, then that's a lot cheaper. It's the most expensive meal we've ever had. If you factor in the cost of the boat charter and then all the ingredients of making the food, it was some good stuff though. There's some good yummies for sure, for sure. Okay, got that. Let's get this guy a scabbard. I want something with a little bit of green in it, not super bright, but I want to give him some green action. Let's go in here and say use like this German dark green. Boating is huge out here. When I buy, I'll probably fly out to Florida though. Much better deals. I haven't been to that state yet. It's on my list though. I don't know if I could deal with the dryness. I guess you get used to it. That's what I hate about Colorado. I love that cold weather, but man, drinking that 24 ounces of water forcefully like it was medicine every hour, you got a massive headache was not my idea of a good time. But you have some extreme stuff there. You guys have mountains and deserts and I guess lakes. I don't like the lakes in this state. We're saltwater fans, so we like going to the Gulf when we can. Things are calm there, and we're far enough away from the. We're kind of in a hurricane-free zone, being in the middle of the state. Don't really have to worry about that. So, but then it's an hour and a half for us to go to the water. That's not that big a deal. You get used to it. You guys probably got a lot of people that left the state to your west, move into your state. So you guys might just go through some interesting changes the next, you probably already have in the last 5 years. It's one thing I read in an article several years ago. What was happening in places like North Carolina. People were leaving the Northeast after they found it was unbearable to live there and then going to North Carolina and doing the same things there that they had made the Northeast unlivable. Colorado's humid compared to Arizona. Oh, wow. Jeez. Maybe moving to South Carolina in the next few years, some work won't be sad to leave. So the problem with South Carolina is the internet. There's no the cell phone signals still there are really primitive, but it'll get better. Yeah, South Carolina is even as hot as it is here. So yeah, I know we went a couple of years ago to Salt Lake City, 2018, I think. We had to stop in Phoenix. We landed in Phoenix, and I don't think we changed planes. It was Orlando to Phoenix, and then Phoenix to Salt Lake. I think on the way back we did Salt Lake to Dallas Fort Worth to Orlando. Maybe it was through Jacksonville. I don't remember. It was one of the two. And we landed in Phoenix. This was in March. And it was in the 80s at night. I was like, holy crap. See, I can deal with it being hot during the daytime, but I like it being cold or cool at night. Because we'll have those nights where it's like 80, 82 and like 97% humidity and it's not raining at night, Bug Haven, the frogs are just loving it. But yeah, I don't want to live in that. I do not want to live in that. I like cool nights. But as I get older, I should be not liking the cold weather as much, right? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case for me. I love the cold. There's a massive influx of people, California cities and Chicago, quickly becoming a shithole. Yeah, no kidding. Summer usually stares near 100 at night. I ain't coming to your state. You just lost me. 109. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got to go out there one time, man. There's some beautiful views out there. Another place that's the anti-Florida. Probably can see for miles and no trees. And this place is mostly a jungle, a flat jungle. It's not that flat, but it's just not over sea level very much. Yeah. Yeah, if you're moving out of California, don't come to Florida. We're good here. Well, you know how you solve that problem? You just allow people only to vote in the state they're born in. Done. Now you can come in. Oh, wait, they can have kids here. Never mind, it doesn't work. Oh, man. Yeah, my dad always spoke really highly of California. It was one of the first places that he came when he left Cuba in 1960. He found work out there. He was always saying how he loved California. So in 1986, we went over there. He lived in the Bay Area, went over to the Bay Area in 1986, and we had a horrible experience with everything. Everything just went sideways. And yeah, he stopped talking about how good California was after that. So I'm sure the weather's a hell of a lot better there in the Bay Area than it is here. Probably great weather, but just the earthquakes I wouldn't be able to deal with. Nope. I got too many valuable things mounted to the wall, that I spent hours painting. Like, no, we're not letting anything happen to them. I can't take them with me, but I'm not repainting them while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, the city's ruined the whole state. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I'm not so sure I'd want to live in this. I'm not sure I'd want to live in the cities in this state either. I mean, we got on a good day, 150,000 people maybe, a little shy of that. Doesn't grow that fast. So it's not desolate. I don't want to live somewhere that's desolate, but yeah, sometimes the influx of people. I want some people, but I don't want them to change the whole aspect of what the place is like. Perfect example is last holiday season we went to Western North Carolina, and we stayed over there for a week. We had a timeshare that we hung out in. We kind of used that as a base and went to all kinds of different places up there. Of course, we've been to Nashville a lot in the past. Some, not a lot, some in the past. And we decided to go over the Smoky Mountains, go over to Gatlinburg. I hadn't been to Gatlinburg in, I don't know, 30 years. What a zoo. Wow, that was like the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge was like the worst part of Kissimmee with $3 towels and all that, all of the really bad Walmart type, uh, like cheap sale thing, just absolutely ruined it, and just absolutely hated that. Except never want to go there again. And and the girl who cut my hair yesterday was commenting about that. So, yeah, we're getting ready to go to Gatlinburg next week. It's like, man, you better find a different place to go unless you like that. So, hopefully, I didn't ruin your experience. But I'm just saying, we went in expecting to see A, and we end up seeing Z. So it was just a total 180 from what we were expecting. I like civilization, but I don't like bad commercialization. So that's what that was. It was like a trailer trash Valhalla. It was really, really weird. We did not like that. Yeah, won't go back. That's a shame. The mountains are beautiful, though. You know. All right, let's we're almost done with this guy, believe it or not. Oh, we didn't do Null Oil. I don't know that I need to do it on. Did I do it on the other guys? Let's see what it looks like next to him. So I'm not gonna do Null Oil on this guy. Screw him. You want to leave the pack? You don't get Null Oil. We do need to lighten some stuff up with the lighter shade of metal. So let's go ahead and do that. I have to remember. I have to add that to one of my coin phrases. Trailer trash Valhalla. That's better than saying rutabaga. You know, if this inconvenience in going shopping wasn't happening this year, probably wouldn't do any Black Friday shopping anyways. I'm kind of done with it. A lot of these people wait in lines that if they were giving stuff away for free, I wouldn't get in a line like that. So we're pretty much going to online everything. So maybe I'm sure I'll have to go to Hobby Lobby for something. But other than that, but they always have like a 40% off coupon. So, you know, great term. Yeah. Stick around. You might learn something new. You never know what you're going to get. I come up with I come up with some bushisms. I come up with some bushism words too in my videos, like impetuate. What's the other one? That's my favorite. Impetuous troops. They impetuate forward. I don't like the pursue term. I don't like when I say, you know, a knight pursues. Well, they destroy the element in front of them, but then they pursue. What? The ghosts? I don't know. We all have our bushisms. I had a guy at work who was talking about a project. You'd bid a project, and when you're able to move forward on it, he would always call it releasal. Do we have releasal on this? And that was his coin phrase. You know, stuff you say, but stuff you wouldn't write down if you were writing it, even an email. You know, because I'm guilty of that. I'll mean one thing and say something else, and it's not trying to be deceptive or anything. It just happens. Sometimes you talk faster than your brain can follow along. Sometimes your brain doesn't follow along. Like I like to say, just imagine if I'd ever done drugs, how messed up I'd be. This is just clean, unabashed stupidity, not drug induced. So yeah, I like nature, but there needs to be some civilization with it as well. Like I want a cell phone signal. Uh, I want running water. I can deal without air conditioning, but I mean, I can deal without electricity, but I need air conditioning or cool nights, running water and water that doesn't smell like sulfur. But I don't want to go to New York City or anything like that. Or pay for parking. That's un-American. I ain't paying for parking. You want me to use your business, leave me a space to bring my vehicle there and be able to consume or partake in your products. That's my lazy American attitude. That's I'm coming where me and my vehicle. And I'm not paying $25 to park and use your services. It's good to go to New York, so you realize how good you have it here. We're supposed to go. My daughter was supposed to go this year, but you see how that went. Not letting her go anytime soon. It's already a zoo. I would think that a unit is very rarely wiped out completely, usually routed off the field. Yeah, it figures everything else in there. Yeah, but just you eliminate the unit from the thing. I don't like calling them pursue when there's no one there. But that's just me. We still struggle with that whole threat zone. It's just so difficult to not call it a ZOC, zone of control. I came across a set of rules recently. I don't remember which one they are. I was reading a review of them, something like that, and it said they didn't have a zone of control for the units. I'm like, man, you could have some really crazy antics. Maybe it was a board game. You know what? That's what it was. It was a World War One board game that the units didn't have zone of control. It was a pretty strategic type game. I came across it, I think on Board Game Geek, or saw somebody post it on one of the sites, and I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, this is a game that doesn't have zone of control. I'm like, what? You know, I'm sure it makes sense when you look at it, but just from looking at it from the outside, I'd be like, what? We're going to give him a shiny sword. This is my mithril silver. It's so old, it still smells like Reagan. It's probably from 1988. Oh, look at that. We missed some metal over here on the side. Do we still have some of this original formula? Yeah, I love this stuff. I wish there was a place here you could walk up and get Cote d'Arms paints. I'd get every damn one of them. I love the ones I have. It's by far the best paint, which is same manufacturers of this stuff. Love Cote d'Arms. I'm just not going to mail order them. Let me rephrase that. If I was out of a color and I could mail order, I knew exactly what the color was like. Well, I have like six of them or whatever. I'd mail order because I know what color I'm getting, but like new colors so I could have them all. Yeah, it's not. Not really my cup of tea. So I mail ordered a lot of my Vallejos, and I got them from Brookhurst Hobbies in California. I think a lot of them are have been sitting on a shelf for a long time because I got them and they just either too watery or they're too clumpy, and they're unlike any of the other ones I've ever bought in person. So, not knocking Brookhurst Hobbies, just I'm thinking that I'm just trying to put two and two together why that happened. But I used to order a lot from them in the early '90s. We used to joke that not early '90s, in the early 2000s, we used to joke that we'd get them before we even ordered them because them being in California, you could order them at midday here. They had just opened and they went in the mail the same day. So you'd order on Monday and you'd get them on Thursday. That's and you're going across the freaking U.S. So that was really pretty good. So pigments, Vallejo pigments, like for weathering. I haven't messed with them. And they have water effects. They got all kinds of stuff. But that's one of those places that, if you find yourself in Spain, which if ever we make it to Europe, that's the first place we're going to is Spain. Although that looks less and less likely each day that goes by, being able to travel to other places, but that's all right. We got Google Mobile. I'd want to go to the Vallejo place there, but I'm sure it's not open to the public. So that's all right. You don't want people stupid. I won't go into I can't go into, I can't go into, I looked up another place and I thought we were going to go into, make this other trip. I contacted and see if there are other places you could get it. So I can go into the Pentagon and be, and go into the, well, not go into, but I'm right there by the open door of the Joint Chief of Staff, but I can't go to your paint factory. Got it. True story. Oh, they probably let me go in because they pulled my record and realized I wasn't a threat. They wanted to get my wargaming advice on what they should do next. You could pull up my record. I got nothing to hide. I'm good people. You have a bunch for your World War II stuff. Man, I haven't touched my World War II stuff in almost 20 years. I need to pull them out and do some videos on those. I love those miniatures. All my combat miniatures from good old Dave Alsop, man. I love that sculpting. That's the best stuff out there. There's nothing I like better than his sculpts. Well, some of the Drew's Militia or whatever the hell they're called now are pretty darn good too. But on my 20 mil, I'm a 20 mil World War II guy. It's socks time. Okay, so let's sock all four, not be lazy. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get this and get some white, lighten it up a little bit before we paint the extremities. I love those combat miniatures. I got a fair number of them painted. I probably have 50 or 60. Just the gaming for that stuff is just, I'm just too anal retentive for that in that period. The amount of detail that I want in a miniatures game is just makes it unplayable. Not unplayable. It just takes forever to accomplish something. So we were using the face of battle for rules. So you'd run like a half squad or something like that. But it's just too much to do all the terrain and everything, and it's just time consuming. I'll save that. I'll do them again when the wife kicks me out and is tired of my all my antics, and I'll have nobody but myself and my paints and war games. We'll do it then. How about that? Just time consuming. And it's like, if I wanted to play that kind of stuff, I'd just as soon play a video game, like open up the close combat, play me some close combat, taking it old school, skirmish gaming like that. But I love me the Dave Alsop sculpts for sure. I have a mind to track down every single thing that he sculpted, even if it's out of period, and paint that stuff. Like I know he did a lot of Napoleonics and ACW, and he is the, in my opinion, the, what's the name of that guy? The Angus McBride of sculpting. So I love Angus McBride's artwork, and he's my favorite sculptor out there. Was my favorite sculptor, let's put it that way. 3D ASL. Close combat at bridge too far. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one because there was one scenario that I think I was playing the Germans, and I had one of those little Aufklärung guys. So you got three guys with MP40s. They were hanging out in a stone building. They were in a fork in a road. And they basically were putting down like a fire lane. They ran out of ammo. They were shooting at a guy in the open. They ran out of ammo, all three of them, before they even caused a casualty. It was like, it was so difficult to get a hit sometimes with infantry fire. It was just crazy. I played, I played it fair a bit. That's two. So I played 3, 4, and 5 quite a bit. I like the Normandy one. I like the Normandy one a lot. Of course, I like the Eastern Front one with the Real Red mod. I was playing with a buddy of mine, my fellow war gamer. We were playing one of those games, and it was the invasion of Russia thing. And he was playing the Russians, I was playing the Germans. And he'd taken all his points to buy a OT 133. I think it's a 133, not a 33. Anyways, it's a T-26 with a flamethrower on it. And he put it on the reverse slope of this hill where my infantry squads were climbing up. And I'm like, things appear as they appear in the screen, so you don't see anybody there. So all you hear is, ah! And the next day I look back down, and all I see is these little German crispy critters. You know, I laughed. It was so funny. That's crispy critters. But we had some good times playing that game. I have resisted buying the new ones. I was out of the computer gaming scene for the last 8 years until this year, and I've resisted buying the new ones. It just gets to a point where you've done all the same thing I've done before. I use the video gaming as a way to motivate myself to get some painting done in that period. But I think that just shooting this video live does a lot more than any of that stuff. So what I do? I get a notification. Oh, I'm not going to watch their video. I'm so far to catch up on that. Yeah, good times at close combat. There's one winter map in particular. There's one particular winter map where the Germans are defending, and they're outnumbered like 3-1. This is like the Wintergewitter stuff. So you're talking about the guys that tried to punch into Stalingrad, didn't make it. Manstein's guys. And you got like a 37 millimeter anti-tank gun in late 42. So you got problems, and you're holding like this dried out frozen riverbed with sporadic trees and stuff, and you're having to park this Pac 36 in places where you can get a really short shot at a T-34 if they come through the woods, and it's like a hell of a movie. That's a great map. Man, I love that map. But it's fun because you're outnumbered a crap ton to one, and you can't set up in your normal setup where you have good lanes of fire. You have to set up where you have limited lanes of fire, and it's very limited for them to be able to reach you. So they can't bear all their firepower on top of you, and that's a good map. There's just some things that you do in wargaming you're just never going to forget, and that's one of them. Love me close combat. But I haven't gotten the new ones yet. I probably never will. They're fun playing against a human opponent. I know somebody who used to play, and he would play against someone else, and he flat out admitted, I didn't play him because I didn't know this person at the time, but he said, yeah, he'd start the game and go make some coffee. He'd come back like 10, 15 minutes later, and the guy'd be freaking out trying to figure out where he was trying to wiggle in his troops to try to get to a position, and he had left the room altogether. Oh, good times, good times. I always think that would be the perfect war game. If you could have multiple people on a side, where you could command your couple squads and a couple vehicles each, and you'd have a teammate, but then you wouldn't know what the other side was doing. I think that would be the perfect war game. ASL, I tried to get back in ASL. I played a lot of ASL. Well, maybe a lot. Maybe 60, 70 games. Is that a lot? I guess probably back in the day. And I don't like this turn sequence. DBA really got me into the fact that you roll an attack and the defender has to also do an opposing roll. So they're involved. The whole phase structure, I'm I don't know if I'd want to do it again. The structure of that. But I did play some of the what's the ASL ripoff game? I hate to say I don't mean that ugly. It just seems like a total ripoff of the game. I have it anyhow. They made it. It's on the it's on the computer. It's on the computer game. I played a fair amount of that, and I actually like that better because there's opposing roles. Steel divisions. So here's the thing about steel divisions. Okay, they had a sale on the modern one. Operation. That's not Operation Flashpoint. It's called Dragon something or whatever. I forget what it is. I got it. I got it about a month ago, and it's just too stressful. You're trying to manage too much stuff at the same time. Steel Divisions totally would have been something that I would have liked. I'm just afraid it's too similar to that. Is it too similar to the modern one? But I'm just such a World War II nut. If I'm playing this deal, especially the Eastern Front one, I love the Eastern Front. It's, as I like to say, it's bad. Which bad guy do you want to be? But if they have the wrong equipment in the wrong time period, I'm going to be like, come on, folks. You just get to the point where you just know too much. They'll have 234s there with the wrong type turret in the wrong time period. I'll be like, no, those are the ones they only used at Stalingrad. Yes, that's what happens when you're a World War II nut slash X-135th scale modeler slash miniatures painter. I don't remember what it's called. War game. What's it called? Is single player can get micro, but multiplayer is what you're looking for. 3 versus 3, a few squads each. Okay. Yeah, I like those games for computer because I don't want to play them wrong, and it just gets to be to the point where I'll let you know what the I'll let you know what this game is. I think it's made by Eugen, and so I figure it's the precursor of the Steel Division games, and maybe I'll buy one of the Steel Division games anyways. How about that? They're on sale this week. I just picked up Rome 2, the Emperor's Edition, for $15 for everything. So I don't think I could go wrong with that. The game I'm thinking of is called. Why isn't it here on my front page? Did I uninstall it to make space? I did. God bless it. All right, I'll find out. Let's see. Let's go to Google. I can find anything on Google. All right. So the search is going to be Eugen Cold War game. I didn't mind it was modern. Oh boy, let's turn the volume off. We don't need that. Red Dragon. Red Dragon. I thought it looked really good. I'm sure it's probably like Red Dragon. I may still get it anyways. have all the Total Wars except the Warhammer ones. Yeah, so I played those way back in the day, and played Rome Total War, the original one, Rome with Rome Total Realism, and Europa Barbarorum mod. It was really challenging to play that one, especially if you took somebody like I always liked to play my boy Pyrrhus. He starts with a big army and no infrastructure to build it, so you have to husband all of your troops all the time, but most games turn into the same thing. You build a line, you extend the line to hold them, come in behind, hit them in the rear, break them, pick up the pieces, get experience points. You're more powerful. The next thing, rinse and repeat. That's how most of them go. For those of you guys who hadn't figured out the game, sorry, I just ruined it for you. But I use them for motivation for painting the real miniatures where are different. But so I played a lot of Rome. I played a lot of the medieval too, and then my computer died. So 8 years go by, and I see that they have a Rome, they have a, Total War Three Kingdoms, and I love the Three Kingdoms period. I love the Asian armies, and I love all that Romance of the Three Kingdoms stuff. And I played all those stupid fighting video games with them, and I know the characters, and I'm not confused by the characters. That's how much I've played it. So I played that, and it's so freaking complicated. There's politics and who's going to marry who, and you have a kid, and diplomacy, and like, holy moly, this is complicated. So I'm like, well, I made a mistake buying this $60 game or $50 game or however much it was because it was still new at the time. So then they had a giveaway for show. I think at the pandemic they had a giveaway for the Shogun one, which was the Samurai one. I never played the original Samurai, and that one was a little bit more manageable in that there wasn't so many behind the scenes combat stuff. And then yesterday, I happened to look up that I see all the Steam's running a big sale until December 1st, and the Rome 2 is on sale for $15 with every single download. So I'm like, well, it may not be great, but I'm going to get $15 worth of gameplay out of it. So that's the way I look at it. One thing I love about playing on the Xbox is that everyone, the developer of the game, knows how well the game is going to run on a system because everybody has the same system. Whereas if you run a computer game, okay, one of the big struggles at the beginning is what graphics setting do I run it on? Now, I have a top of the line laptop, but it's not the best thing you could have because I didn't want a mainframe. I got a Surface Book 2, so it's got plenty of ass, but there's some games that just, as you know, if you've been playing computer games for a while, there's some games that never run well, ever. The one I can think of is Panzer Elite. I got it way back when it was a tank simulator. Of course, it's very dated by now. It never ran well on my computer, ever. And I bought a top of the line desktop that I had it when it came out, and it could way overkill, and it just never ran well. So I prefer the console games from the standpoint of how well they run. But of course, I'm not really a first-person shooter type person. I mean, not that I haven't done them, but I'm not gonna save the world from freaking Nazis anymore. Okay, it's like they're on their own. Okay, I've done it enough times. But but yeah, with computers, so I bring up this Rome Total War, and sometimes you struggle with what graphic settings. So I'm just kind of running at what it started with. I don't want to even even something with like the Field of Glory, Field of Glory 2, which doesn't take up for DBA, but it does give you a lot of the thinking. I enjoy the thinking games, but I don't want the. I'm not a strategy guy. I don't want to play the big sweeping strategy games. I still want the tactics and stuff to it. I don't mind some strategy, but I want it to be mostly a tactics thing. So I think it'll be worth $15. Definitely. That's the way I look at it. So you like Rome 2? Good. Good. I played. it loaded up overnight. I have extremely slow internet, so I'm surprised that it was able to do it in one night. And and I played one of the missions like for 30 minutes, and then after that, I'm like, hey, how about I do some painting? Have something to show for it. I can only do this while the people aren't as awake in the morning and making background noises, which is getting close to ending now. I can always put the headphones and play the computer game whenever. So, and I feel good. I feel good at the end of the day when I'm at the when I do this, not necessarily when I do the video games. So, yeah, I think the daughter's up. She's probably trying to watch some Macy's Day thing, which they're doing that in a different format or whatever. But anyhow, what do we got left on this? We got hooves. We got him painted. We did the highlighting. I think we're about done with this guy. I think we're about done with this guy. This guy's going to be the file leader. He's going to be the number one figure. And number one meaning, here's the setup here. This is the lead. I've got in my medieval German army the same thing. We're going to have a wedge. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. These three guys are fully armored and fully armored horses on both stands. So these knights that I painted earlier, these are the 2 and 3 position. Excuse me. That's it. 2 weeks off from work. No, I'm kidding. These are the 2 and 3 figures on these 2 stands, and this is the number 1 guy on one of them. Now, which stand he's actually going to be on, I'm not sure, but he's going to be the file leader. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out with it being red. I don't want to. Was not really going for a circus tent look. I'm happy with it so far, but if he pisses me off, I'll redo him. So, but anyhow, that's that guy. The next guy we have to do is this armored guy, and he'll be the file leader for the other group of 6. Now, where specifically they go on which stand, I don't worry about that too much, because I can worry about that when they're complete and do the mix and match. Just do enough of variety. If I do try to do too much planning, it's going to slow down my actual painting that I'm doing, and I end up getting nowhere. So yeah, so this guy's next. So this is the guy that we claimed he was going to have a white horse. So by God, let's give him a white horse. And I'm out of coffee, so I'm going to be right back and get coffee and iced coffee, of course. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, the whole plan's up now. So I got a little interesting problem that I'll tell you guys about, which you may not be aware of. So I'm filming him here in this room, but the whatever computer program they use to analyze sounds with YouTube is very susceptible to pick up background stuff. And to give you an example, I did a painting video. I was in my room a couple months ago, and the mother and the daughter, they were watching Gilmore Girls. And the theme, I couldn't even hear it, but the phone picked up the sound of the theme song for Gilmore Girls, and all of a sudden, my video was blacklisted because I was using copyright sound. And I mean, it's not even noticeable. But so yeah, they're out there watching the Macy's Day Parade, and which I don't think is a parade, but they've got musical acts, so they're doing like a excerpt of something from the Hamilton thing. So I'm gonna have to cut this off because I don't want the whole video to be compromised. But if we do any more video, we'll definitely see. What is it? It's Thursday today. Friday, we should do some more painting on Friday, more painting on Saturday, more painting on Sunday. I'm gonna have to go into work on Sunday to fix all the crap that went wrong while I was gone and be ready for Monday. So it's breakfast time anyway. It's gonna get going. Okay, have a good Thanksgiving. You too, Epic Fox. Don't eat a coyote. Make sure what you're eating is turkey. Anyhow, have a good holiday, and we'll catch you next time. But for the rest of you, that's yeah, we're gonna have to cut that off because that does happen. You have no intention to do some kind of copyright infringement, and it'll pick up the YouTube algorithms or whatever picks up anything really easy. So, but anyhow, we'll catch you guys next time. It's almost 3 hours in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, if not sooner. See you later, folks, and happy painting. Bye bye.